What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily. March 24, 2023. We got 4 more Sweet 16 games with 4 of the Elite 8 teams set now. Let's start off with that Gonzaga-UCLA game, Aaron. That was a wild finish. Seemed like Gonzaga was going to easily win the game. Then they blow it. Then they hit a 3 from the logo. Just crazy ending there.
I'm so mad. You know, that defines my whole tournament experience this year. Anytime I get on a roll, that happens, right? So I got Florida Atlantic. I'm feeling so good. They come back, they win. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a big night. UCLA's up like double digits at the half. They blow it. They go 8 minutes without a field goal. Dr. Tang's texting me. He's so pissed off. He's a UCLA guy. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then, out of the depths of hell, they come back and they take the lead. They're up 1. I'm just saying, come on, just get a stop. This will be a big win for them. Gonzaga pulls up from the logo, like you said. And I'm like, thank the good Lord that this team that is a great offensive team just took one of the worst shots in the history of basketball. Nothing but that. Right through the hoop. I'm like, holy shit. I couldn't believe it. A great game, though. I can't complain. It was a great game. I just hate that I was backing UCLA at that time.
It was a phenomenal finish there. We need more Gonzaga and UCLA. These games have been absolute classics. We had the mid-quarter from Suggs a couple years back. You've got Morrison crying on the floor after they lose to UCLA. I mean, it's just been phenomenal games up and down there. K-State, they came through. You got to love that. They looked good. Beat Michigan State. It looked like they were going to take care of business pretty easily. And then we had to sweat out some overtime action there, but able to get the job done. And, of course, the Owls hooting their way to the Elite 8 here. It's going to be an interesting matchup for them. I think the run may end here against K-State, but that's going to be another fun game there as well. All right, let's jump into today's games here. We've got 4 of them coming at us. We'll kick it off here with San Diego State heading in to take on Alabama. Bama laying 7.5 here. Total sitting at 137.5 right now. This game's kind of been fluctuating between 7 and 8 the last couple days, but seems like we're pretty settled on 7.5 here. We'll start out with you, Magic. Who do you like here in this spot?
I love the under here. The under is 7-1-1 in Alabama's last 9 games following a win of at least 20 points like that. And then for the Aztecs, the under is actually 6-0 in their last 6 games following and against the spread win for the Aztecs. So San Diego State, Alabama, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Give me the under.
Papa Dude, who you like?
Well, I was thinking today, I like all the favorites today. I do. And I thought, well, I might even do a 4-team parlay, see what that would pay. Well, it didn't pay enough to risk it. It really didn't because they're solid favorites. And I got to thinking, does anybody do their job better than the people in Vegas that set these lines? Does anybody do their job any better than these people?
I mean, I think I'm pretty good at hosting this, but outside of me doing this, yeah, that would be the
that's true. Okay, all right, maybe you, but here we got solid games. Okay, I'm thinking, all right, I really like these games tonight, but every single one of them, the spread is just enough to give you a doubt. Every one of them. This is one of them. I think Alabama wins this game. I do, and I think they could win by 10, maybe 12. Maybe 15, they could blow them out. But at the same time, I'm thinking, what if they don't shoot well? What if they have a game where they can't hit the bucket? San Diego State's good enough to beat them, So I couldn't do the spread. I just couldn't bet it. So I'm with Magic. I think the under makes a little bit of sense. So if I was going to bet, I would go ahead and take Alabama in the points, but I'm not going to. So I do think they're going to win by more than 7.5. I do.
Yeah, I was watching today and someone called San Diego State basically a Walmart version of Alabama, a less athletic, less talented version with the same team, which usually means that the favorite's able to whoop them up. I'll lay the 7.5 here with Bama, not confidently. This is a small bet for me. I agree with Papa. I liked all 4 dogs yesterday. I like all 4 favorites today, which is not the best thing in the world, especially in the Sweet 16 round, where I think it's 2016. The favorites are covering about 40% of the time. The over has been getting popped by a group. Dr. Tang mentions over SDSU is his best bet here. And Pedlo jumping in here, some sharp action going to the over as well, which I thought was interesting because I kind of agreed with you guys where I thought this was more of an underlean. I'm going to end up passing the total just because of the sharp action here on the over. Aaron, what do you do with this one?
I think Alabama's going to blow them out. I'm not a huge fan of San Diego State. I think Alabama's going to blow them out. So I'll take Bama minus the 7.5. It's over under here. It's pretty much set where it should be, I think. I think it's just going to depend on San Diego State more than Alabama. Can they, score enough to get that thing over? I tend to lean the over, honestly, but I think Alabama minus 7.5 is the play here.
All right, let's head over to the other number 1 seed, the U, going in and taking on Houston, minus 7.5, total sitting at 138.5. This Houston team is just a quagmire to me, man. I cannot get these guys right when I want to lay it, when I want to take it with them. I'm not going to touch this game. This is the one game of the day that I'm not going to bet a single dime on. Aaron, where are you going here?
I hear you. Houston has just been a weird team, and with the injury situations, it's always a problem. You really kind of need to bet them live in game and kind of see how those guys are shaping up, how they're playing. But honestly, I just think they're a lot better team than Miami. I really do. I wasn't a huge Miami fan in the first 2 rounds, as you guys know. I picked Drake to beat them, and Drake should have beat them. They totally choked that game away. And if they would have beat them, and Houston's playing Drake today or Indiana, I don't think anybody's worried about it. So I'm not going to worry about it because I don't think Miami's that good. Give me Houston minus 7.5. If they show up like they played against Auburn in the second half, I don't think it's going to be a problem tonight.
If they show up like they did against Auburn in the second half, they're probably winning the whole dance. Papa Dude, you are a Houston fanboy. Who you got here?
I'm a huge Houston fan, which means I am not confident in anything because I'm a huge Houston fan, and I always take the negative side of things when I'm looking at my team, and I like Miami. I do. I like Miami, and I have all year. I like their coach. I like the way they play. I think this is the type of team that could give Houston some problems, especially, again, that we don't know for sure about the injury situation with Houston. They say they're better, but are they? We don't know, So I'm going to take Miami plus the points, but I think Houston wins.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. You mentioned Jim Larrañaga. Probably he definitely had a massive coaching edge in the first 2 rounds. Not so much today against Calvin Sampson. It'll be interesting to see what those 3 Miami guards can do. Magic, did you play this one?
Miami plus the points. I agree with you. And to kind of back up what you were saying, Mike, about the Houston being a quagmire, you can't really ever seem to figure out when to play them right. In their last 7 games following against the spread win, they're 1-6 against the spread. So as soon as it's like, hey, yeah, they cover, no, then they don't cover again. It doesn't.
I'll make a good point on that, though. The spread's usually 25, 22, 18 points. I am going to point that out. They're never favored, hardly ever under double digits. So I think that spread is invalid. Sorry, Magic.
Poo-pooing on your stat. I do think this one's an interesting in-game prospect. If Miami gets up, I kind of like Houston. If they are all healthy, I kind of like Houston to kind of buy back some of that and see if you can get Houston minus a half point, minus a point in game if they get down to Miami, because this team they feel like you can flip a switch with Houston in a way. And that second half against Auburn specifically kind of showed them flip that switch and get the job done. So might take a piece in game here if anything happens. All right, let's head over to Princeton taking on Creighton. 115 seed left here. Creighton laying 10.5. This one moved from 9.5 to 10.5 today, so getting more Creighton action. Total sitting at 140.5. We've got a best bet from this game. So, Magic, you can kick us off here. Tell us about what you like.
It's supposed to be over 140, not under.
Oh, well, you should play the under because the over is going to get crushed here. This is going under.
All right, so here's the thing.
Magic, he doesn't like your bet.
Creighton, that's fine. Creighton and Princeton, they're both averaging 144 points per game total for each of those 2 teams. A big reason I think that this is low is because Princeton, Arizona was just 114 points, a very low scoring affair. But they also, both teams shot horrifically bad in that game statistically. I think it was 4 for 25 for Princeton from beyond the arc. They're not that bad from beyond the arc. In the last 13 games, 10 of those games for Princeton went over 140. For Creighton, 9 of its last 10 games went over a total of 140. I think both of these teams like to score. I'm going to go with over 140.
I already played the under. I love the under. It's one of my best bets of the day. I thought you put under because this is where I was gonna go after Papa Dude tried to snipe my best bet the other time. I was gonna play under here. And I thought you did because I just assumed it was going to be an under. I think this, to me, look, Princeton wants to score at the rim. Creighton very good at defending against the rim. Princeton's going to try and slow this game down as much as they possibly can. I love the under 140.5 here. Aaron, what'd you do with this game?
Oh, gosh, that over. That's a terrible bet. I love the under. No, I don't know. I didn't look at the total for this one, to be honest. Look, here's the deal. Princeton, guys, we've talked about them. That, you know, you watch this show, we talked about this conference, the Ivy League, because they play games on Friday nights when a lot of teams don't. So we actually have covered a lot of Ivy League games. And Papa Dude, we talked about it on our show yesterday. Princeton wasn't really a team that we thought was that good. And we liked other teams in the Ivy League better than them. And they've come out and they've played really, really well. Guys, it's over tonight. I'm sorry. Creighton is a much, much, much better team than Princeton. I think it's done. Cinderella strikes midnight. Give me Creighton all day long. I'll lay the 10.5. I think Creighton is a big-time runaway winner in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how you know that shit's going to hit the fan. A lot of time when these 15 seeds make the Sweet 16, it gets out of hand because they're facing a team that's executed in 1-2 games, and now you get some of that magic dust has rubbed off in a way where it's like, okay, now you have a team that's not going to overlook you, that's going to 100% prepare for you. They get 4 days to do so with superior talent. It makes it awfully tough in that spot. So going to be interesting to see how Princeton shows up here. My one thing is if Princeton wins, I cannot wait to lay it with Alabama. Alabama will beat Princeton by like 50 points. So I will bet that game immediately if Princeton does end up winning this game. All right, let's jump to the last game of the day here. Xavier heading in to take on Texas. This one's up to 4.5 here. It was at 4 most of the day yesterday. Total sitting now at 149. Papa Dude will go to you. You got your best bet coming from this game.
I do. I really wanted to take Texas. I did. And yesterday, I think the spread was 4. And it's amazing what a half a point will do. You know, it just scared me enough to get me off of it. And I looked at I really think that Texas is going to slow Xavier down. I do. And I keep looking at that first game Xavier played against Kennesaw State where they could not score. They could not score. And I think Texas is 10 times a better defensive team than Kennesaw State. So I think this line is a little bit high. Say it's 150, so it's 75-75. I see this one like 72-66, something in that ballpark. I think Texas is going to win. So I went with the under in this game. And if I was going to do the point spread, I think I'd go ahead and stick with Texas. But I think that line sits a little too high. So I'm going to go ahead and do the under on this game tonight.
Yeah, this is I didn't touch the total here. I don't disagree with you on the under, though. Xavier absolutely lit Pitt up, but Pitt's not a very good defense. And Xavier had a guy shoot 5 for 5 from 3 in the first half, which really created some spread there and allowed them to just kind of bang on Pittsburgh the entire second half. I agree with you. I think the under here is probably the play if you're going to take a total here. I like Texas minus the 4.5. I'm going to probably end up laying it with Texas here. I think they're just a better team. I think Xavier's route, you mentioned Kennesaw State and then Pitt, been pretty weak. I mean, they haven't really had to beat anyone yet in this tournament. I didn't love them coming into the tournament. Now I'm getting Texas, who is a Final Four team for me, who I think is very, very good. And I think could shut them down defensively. So I'm going to lay it with Texas here. Aaron, what do you like?
Yeah, give me Texas. I really think the biggest thing with Xavier, they are just a team that when they don't shoot well, they're in big trouble. And I think Kennesaw State was a team that just couldn't quite take advantage of it, couldn't quite get over the hump. So you look at Texas, if Xavier doesn't shoot the ball well, Texas is going to score and score and score. I'm with you. I think Texas is the play here. Texas minus 4.5 all day for me.
Magic?
Texas in the under. Last 7 games for the Longhorns. They're 7-0 against the spread. The under 7-0. Got to keep that trend going, baby.
I love it. Let's go. Texas in the under. Let's get it through so everybody's a winner. All right, one hockey game tonight. We're going to talk about the Devils. Minus 190 taking on the Sabres. Total is sitting at 6.5. Magic, who do you like?
Devils! It's always the Devils for me. I love the Devils in this spot here. I didn't want to see what the puck line was. I'm going to pull this up right now. I didn't have it.
I can pull it up for you.
Yeah, the Devils right now, by the way, they're 23-12 on the road.
Plus
Against the
130.
puck line, and they're 26-5, 2-2 on the road overall. I love them going into Buffalo. Get the job done. Go Devils.
Give me the over here, over 6.5. We talk a lot about first period unders. These two teams play toward first period overs. And if the first period goes over 2, I think they're going to fly over the 6.5. So I'll take the over 6.5 in this spot. It's getting juiced to like crazy. I think it's minus 140 now. So not a ton of value left in that over, but I think this one goes over 6.5 pretty easily. Aaron, what do you like?
I never get the Sabres right every time. So I don't know. I think Sabres are going to win. They get blown out. I think they're about done, and then they blow out somebody. I took the Devils tonight. I would definitely lean towards the over in this spot as well. But I'm with Magic. I'll go the Devils.
Papa Dude?
I'll go the Devils as well. I almost made it part of a parlay, but then hockey can't trust, so I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go the Devils as well, and I would go over also.
Devils and the over, baby. Let's get that home to make it happen. All right, race of the day, headed out to Gulfstream Park, race number 8. Not a ton of wonderful races today. I'm not going to lie. We actually had struggles finding this one. We're going to go a mile on the turf here, $35,000 claimers. Aaron, we'll kick it off with you. Who do you like in this spot?
You're right. It's not that good of a day today at Gulfstream. And boy, at Oaklawn yesterday, it was crazy. And these races at Oaklawn aren't that great either. So we do kind of have to get a little bit creative here. So in the 8th at Gulfstream, I'm going to go number 4. How the hell? That ain't too shabby. I saw that. I was like, how the hell you say that? But then you just sound it out. Number 4, that ain't too shabby, is who I'm going to go with. 6-1 on the morning line here. Look, I think the horse dropping down in class. Yes, off of a layoff, but Mark Cassidy usually does pretty well off layoffs. I think the horse dropping down in class is going to be tough. Also, getting back to a mile, I think that's where we are going to see this filly at her best. So I went with the number 4, that ain't too shabby, at 6-1 on the morning line.
I used the 4. I thought this one was interesting coming back here first out as a 4-year-old for Cassie. Castellano picks up the mount. Horse has been working really well too. I was just a little concerned the numbers don't quite stack up. So I ended up on the 2 Swoonatra. Guess why? It's Gulfstream Park's turf course. I think this horse takes the field gate to wire. It's the exact same thing as 2 days ago where we had a horse that I thought was going to get the lead, was able to go gate to wire. I feel like it's the same spot here. There's not really anyone else who wants to press the pace. And in my mind, the horses that are the biggest threat are all coming from off it. The only other real speed's right to the outside in Kizzy. I don't think that Kizzy can push Swoonatra. And if Swoonatra gets loose, I think he has a good shot at taking this field gate to wire. So give me the 2 horse, although I do like Aaron's 4 a little bit of a price. Magic, where are you going here?
Yeah, you stole what I was going to say, Mike. The 2 Swoonatra seems like she's got a great chance to go gate to wire. And I want to know from Papa Dude, since you made all great handicapping points, do we like the name Papa Dude? Is this one of those? Because the dam is Old Blue Eyes, and you know that's a reference to Frank Sinatra. So
I figured that's where the Sinatra came from. Yes, I love the name. Love the name.
So
I feel better picking the horse then.
Good to hear. Yeah. All right, Papa Dude, who you got?
I also like that Ain't Too Shabby. That's a good name too.
Mm-hmm.
I like that
one
a lot.
Shabby.
Yeah, that's a good one. That Ain't Too Shabby. Yeah, that's good. Good name. I'm going 5. I'm going to go Demogorgon, I guess is how you pronounce that. I don't like that name too well, but it's all right. Winner, last time out by 4 1/4, taking a little bit of a step up. And I think he's got a chance to win. So I'm going to go 5-2-4.
You've had good Demogorgon success on this show in the past, Papa Dude. 3 back, you picked French Frank to beat Demogorgon. Last time out, you picked Demogorgon as the best bet. So I don't hate it. Because horse been claimed 3 straight times at $20,000 level. Now steps up to 35, but if it runs back to that last race, should be tough. And Jose Ortiz rides through the claim. So not a bad pick there at all. So Papa Dude going with the 5, Magic and I on the 2, Aaron taking the 4. Interesting race. We'll see what happens there. All right, we got 2 best bets left to cover here. Aaron, since you're at Gulfstream, we'll stick with you here. You're heading to the 3rd race, taking the 5 horse.
Yeah, I really think the 5 in the 3rd race, Cloud Storage Day, Gulfstream, is going to be awfully tough to beat in this spot. Another Mark Cassidy horse. So hopefully Mark Cassidy has a good day for me. Look, I mean, the horse last time out, first off the claim for Mark Cassidy, ran at this level, got second, only beaten ahead, ran a really good race, went back and rewatched that. I just think if the horse runs that race again, she's going to be awfully tough to hold off. So, look, I think Mark Cassidy's second off the claim. You know, I don't hate that either. Jose Ortiz jumps aboard today. I don't hate that either. So I think there's a lot of good signs here. Kind of a bit worried about the 4 horse just to the inside, but I think the 5's a little better. So give me the number 5 Cloud Storage in the third at Gulfstream today. I think that one's going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, I went too deep here in everything, and this was 4 and 5 for me. DeBona off the claim, 24% on the 4. You get Irad up, Jose on the 5. Probably the best horse. Whether or not we can repeat that last effort is going to be the key there. So I like it there. Papa Dude, do you know we actually had similar ideas on the best bet here? I'm going to go with a money line parlay. I think Texas wins. I think Bama wins. I think Creighton wins, all pretty easily. Put them together, you get plus 125. Like I said, I like all the favorites today. It means I'm probably not betting nearly as much as I did yesterday when I liked all the dogs. But I thought this was a way to at least get plus money on three games where I think are pretty safe. To me, Texas is really the only one I'm that concerned about, and I kind of think Texas is going to roll. So I'm not that concerned about it. So give me Texas, Bama, and Creighton plus 125 on the money line. Is that something similar to what you were thinking, Papa Dude?
Yeah, if you added the other one, which was Houston, you got plus 198. But trying to get 4 of these in a row, I didn't think it was worth plus 198 to try to get all 4 of them. But this is a good one. Yeah, I like it a lot. The only risky one, as you said, probably is Texas. By the way, Mike, before we forget it, because we are all about the fans, I'm sure you didn't see this, but back up in the chat there just a little bit. Philip had a question for us that I know that you would like to tackle on that. He's got K-State at plus 3,000. Would you add it at plus 1,100 or plus 450 to reach the finals? I would say no, because you're going to have to go through probably Alabama to get to the finals, and I don't think Kansas State can stop Alabama. So what do you think? What do you guys think?
That would be my concern too. I mean, there is some value at plus 450 because if you think that Kansas State gets through FAU, which I do, you're not getting plus 450 in that game against Bama, right? So you do have a little bit of value there if you want to add to it. So if you love Kansas State, I don't think it's crazy. The problem for me is, like you said, Papa Dude, Bama's route is just, it's not difficult. I mean, you have a game against San Diego State today. I think they take care of business. And then you've got the winner of Creighton Princeton. So you're almost guaranteed to face Bama if you take care of FAU. And then it really comes down to what do you think of Bama versus K-State, right? And if you like K-State in that game, then I think there's definitely value. I wouldn't add to it, especially since you've got that plus 3,000. I would probably be looking for ways to hedge. So like, in my mind, taking Bama right now to make the championship game at plus 160 would be a great way to hedge your plus 3,000 K-State bet, because Bama can, if it is Bama K-State, you're sitting on their winner, or you're going to have a team at plus 3,000 in the final game. So I like that kind of idea. Aaron, what do you think about that?
No, you laid it out perfectly. I think if you're carrying plus 3,000, their toughest game is going to be that Final Four anyway, like you said. So I think if they get to the championship game, they're going to win that thing. I really believe that. Look, they were just lights out yesterday. That was such a tough game to win, and they were able to do it. I mean, I was just really
That was a great game.
Can they do it again? That's the thing. I don't think they're going to have to win the next one. They're going to have to rise to the occasion in a big way to beat a team like Alabama. So I think it's a good ticket to just ride out, Pedlo. I really don't think you need to go any further than what you got. You've got that great price there. So, and hedge on with maybe a different team, I think makes more sense, like Somich kind of pointed out.
Magic, any thoughts here?
No, not really. You guys outlined it pretty well. I'm not usually one for hedging bets because I don't usually get that far with them. So best of luck to you. I mean, those odds are fantastic. UCLA is out, so there was my rooting interest. So I feel like I'm going to root for K-State for Philip now.
There we go. All right. Good question, Philip. Thank you for bringing it up. Happy to answer any of those. We love talking about those kind of gambling and hedging questions. So I think that's something that a lot of people think about, but don't necessarily figure out how to do it correctly. And it can be a situation where it's never fun when you hedge out and both tickets lose. So you got to try and find ways to guarantee you're going to make some money if you're going to do it. All right, let's run through the best bets for the day. We got Aaron taking Gulfstream Park race number 3, horse number 5, 7-5 on the morning line. Papa Dude taking the under, Xavier, Texas, 149. I'm going to go Texas, Alabama, Creighton, money line, plus 125. Magic going with the over in Princeton and Creighton, 140. 2-5 for the week, down $300. Got to get it back. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, with best bets around the sports and horse racing world. Good luck with all your bets today. Let's go Chalk.